Saving Our Livers, Part 1, The Journey. To all my family, relatives, and friends. To anyone who has similar genetic mutations. May this information light up the path in your own health journey. Our family tree has suffered far too long. It's time for victory. Jesus has shown me the way out. Blessings to you. It begins. In 2019, my sudden health decline forced me to quit my 15-year career of electrical engineering. This was about 5 years after giving birth to my second child. Goodbye, career. So symptoms included extreme insomnia, lasting 3 days at a time, anxiety, stress, mental suffering, mental torment, social anxiety, twitching muscles, especially in the shoulders and arms, immune response to inflammatory foods like dairy, sugar, preservatives, sodium nitrate, sodium phosphate, resulting in sore throat, runny nose, phlegm. Other symptoms: dry skin, dry eyes, adrenal glands dumping adrenaline into my body at random times, fight or flight mode, mild neuropathy, especially in the feet. And yes, I've had some of these symptoms since childhood, like muscle twitching and anxiety, but they intensified to unbearable levels in 2019. So of course, I went to the doctor. He ordered blood tests, like lipid panel, thyroid, liver enzymes, hemoglobin, hormones, etc. Results. All blood test results fell within the standard range. The doctor was so happy, he even praised my super low LDL cholesterol number. Yippee! Exclaiming that I would never get heart disease. So, he diagnosed me with depression and prescribed me antidepressant drugs. But I found out later through research that my LDL number was so low it actually put me at higher risk for other health problems. So the ideal LDL level is 70 to 100 mg per dl, and it's considered low at 50. Guess what mine was? Mine tested at 19. And my sister showed me her number, which was in the low 30s. What is cholesterol? It's a fat-like substance produced by the liver and packaged into particles called lipoproteins. Low-density lipoprotein travels throughout the bloodstream, delivering cholesterol to the cells that need it so that cells can repair themselves. LDL is also required for the production of hormones, vitamin D, and bile for digestion. High-density lipoprotein returns the cholesterol to the liver. You may have heard it said that LDL is bad and HDL is good, but some doctors disagree with this accusation against LDL. Is oxidized LDL really an arsonist or an injured firefighter? If you'd like to know more, you can search YouTube for the channel called Nadir Mir Ali, and for the video called Is Oxidized LDL an Injured Firefighter or an Arsonist? Also, link in the description box below. So, you might see why my low LDL was cause for concern. Because if it's needed to repair cells and your LDL levels are too low, then you can't sufficiently repair the damage that was caused by toxins. This allows the development of neuropathy, which I happen to have a mild case of. And if you can't produce enough hormones, this can cause fatigue, stress, dry skin, dry eyes, negative moods like anxiety, depression, etc. Later, upon seeing my fourth doctor, I found out that the first 3 doctors had been wrong about my hormone levels. More accurate testing and better diagnosis showed some of my hormones, like estrogen, to have been pretty low. And if you can't produce bile, you get poor digestion, poor absorption of fat, and fat-soluble vitamins like vitamins A, D, E, K. And after 5 years of searching, I was able to determine that my bile production is also pretty low. and vitamin D. There's a very, very long list of possible symptoms for vitamin D deficiency. Feel free to Google this. You also need vitamin D to help clear out amyloids, misfolded proteins. So if you have amyloidosis, take note. You need vitamin D. 2 more health issues. God sent new friends to teach me the following. Gut dysbiosis, an imbalance of microorganisms in the gut, not enough good bacteria, and too much bad bacteria. I learned to mitigate this by taking a probiotic supplement. MTHFR. This is a genetic mutation that prevents your body from efficiently methylating folate and processing homocysteine. Symptoms include fatigue, low energy, anxiety, stress, depression, and a difficult time eliminating toxins from the body. To compensate, supplement with methylated B vitamins. Both my mother and I have tested positive for 1 copy of C677T MTHFR. Happily, I've been able to find supplements to mitigate just about every symptom I have, so I can stay alive and sometimes be functional. But I had still been suffering and really wanted to know the root cause. Why does nothing work? Every time a doctor prescribed me a different treatment option, the treatment would backfire, and I'd end up much worse off after the treatment. So I spent many hours in research. By the time I was on my 4th doctor, I strongly started to suspect my liver due to the low LDL, low hormone levels, and my body's rejection of medications and certain foods. When I brought this up to my 4th doctor, she exclaimed, "There is nothing wrong with your liver." Probably because my blood test results for liver enzymes all came back within range. I guess she either forgot or didn't understand my LDL result. Although she was clearly smarter than my 3 previous doctors, she still didn't have enough knowledge to understand my actual problem. On my own. Well, I was on my own in terms of human help, but not divine help. Jesus led me through each of the steps that I needed. Correct supplementation, keto diet, fasting, and the final puzzle piece to be revealed shortly. The whole journey took about 5 years, which is the amount of time I needed to gain a proper understanding of how to heal the body. God couldn't have given me the cure before I was ready. It was crucial for me to learn the detoxification process first. Once I had learned all the prerequisites, God sent me 2 wonderful ladies to reveal the final piece of the puzzle. And here it is. So here's your liver. I'll be discussing the liver and the gallbladder and ignoring the rest. So here's the left hepatic duct, the right hepatic duct, and HEPA is just the shortened form of the word for liver in Greek, so HEPA means liver. Cystic duct and gallbladder, but don't worry, you're not required to remember the duct names. I'm just pointing these out to provide context. The liver uses cholesterol, water, electrolytes, bile salts, and other substances to produce bile. Bile is a greenish-yellow digestive fluid. It helps to break down fats and carry away waste. This bile gets stored in a sac called the gallbladder. When we eat, fat enters the small intestine, triggering the gallbladder to contract. This contraction causes bile to empty into the small intestine. We need to keep our biochemicals balanced with exercise and healthy diet so that the bile can flow smoothly. Otherwise, it congeals, gets sluggish, and clogs up the liver ducts. If the biochemicals become imbalanced, they can form gallstones. Some risk factors for gallstones: unhealthy diet, inflammatory foods like sugar, gluten, dairy, hormonal imbalance, lack of exercise, and MTHFR. people in general are familiar with gallstones in the gallbladder. You can see them in ultrasounds, CT scans, and x-rays because they are composed of minerals like calcium and bile pigments. So here on the left is an ultrasound image. You see the dark sac, which is the gallbladder, and 2 gallstones inside the sac. And on the right is an x-ray, and you could see the 4 gallstones in the gallbladder here. But gallstones in the liver are usually just clumps of congealed bile or organic matter. This makes them practically invisible to x-ray, ultrasound, and CT scans. You can have hundreds or even thousands of bile stones clogging up your liver, and there's no way to test for it. Enzyme levels are not raised in the bloodstream until some serious liver cell damage occurs, where the cells rupture and release the enzymes into the bloodstream. So, unless there is serious damage, you cannot detect this condition through a blood test. So what happened with the antidepressants that my doctor prescribed? Because my liver was so congested, it couldn't handle the antidepressant drugs. I took only 1 capsule, just 1. And then I had to lie down on the couch for 3 days and wait for the severe abdominal pain to go away. That was a little scary. I'm also incapable of taking painkillers like codeine and Vicodin. They cause me severe vomiting. My 5th doctor is at Lamb Clinic in Tustin. Here, they practice integrative functional medicine, which means they draw from many different sources: holistic, natural, modern, ancient, Western, and Eastern. This is the only clinic I've been to that acknowledges the very existence of congested liver. I'm grateful for their acknowledgement because my previous 4 doctors were completely clueless about its existence. So, I'm sticking with Lamb Clinic for now, but even they weren't able to give me the root cause solution. At the end of 2024, while I was attending a Christian healing seminar, God brought to me the 2 wonderful ladies that I mentioned earlier in this video. One of them had previously battled the identical health problems that I had, but was able to overcome and get healed. They gave me their health testimonies and shared a book with me. Back at home, I ordered the book. Upon reading it, I was floored. I cried and I thanked Jesus because now finally, after suffering my entire life with no explanation for the suffering, was I now finally reading a detailed account of why I suffered. So here it is. Here's the book. The Liver and Gallbladder Miracle Cleanse, an all-natural at-home flush to purify and rejuvenate your body, by Andreas Moritz. Please watch the Andreas Moritz interview. It's excellent. Moritz explains how most chronic diseases, including cancer, autoimmune, and belly fat, start with a congested liver. I'll leave the link in the description box below. Substitutions. Now, I had to make some substitutions to his method. My liver wasn't able to handle some of his preparation steps, but that's okay. My flushes are still successful. I'll explain all of this in part 3. After part 2, of course. Check out the next 2 videos in the Saving Our Livers series. So next up is part 2, amyloidosis and other chronic conditions, and part 3, the cure. So thanks for watching, and Jesus loves you so much. God bless.